Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're returning to the 41st millennium and the Tyranids. So this is the second video that I've done on painting Tyranids, and this is actually the colour scheme that I have for my Tyranid army. So I've gone for the Hive Fleet Gorgon inspired, so that's greens and browns, just because, to be honest, I quite like the sort of vegetative look. So I started off with black spray paint and then skin using model colour German camo. It's quite a vibrant green, so at this stage, yep, they look pretty bold. Almost snot green like, but not quite. See, I always quite like to have my miniatures. I guess it doesn't really make much difference in the sense that we're in the far future here, fighting on all sorts of worlds. But I guess because of the planet that we live on, I always think of jungles and things of that nature, and I quite like that aesthetic for my Tyranids. Quite like them to be able to blend in and hide in amongst all the bushes. So then the carapace itself, use chocolate brown from the model colour. So again, we're sticking with those sort of earthy tones across the miniature. And whilst I've said earlier that this is the colour scheme for my army, I haven't actually painted the army yet. I've just decided at last on the colour scheme. However, the next video, which I'm doing kind of at the same time, I've done an Ice World theme, and I very much like that paint scheme for the Tyranids. So watch this space, because it's either going to be Hive Fleet Gorgon or an Ice World inspired Hive Fleet. So I'm not too sure yet, but yeah, just wait and see on that. Leave me your suggestions below. As I said, I'm always interested in what you guys have to say. But I also did all the hooves and the claws in the brown as well. So next up we just go over the talons with a bit of a highlighting. And so we use the game colour bone white for these. We've already done the brown kind of as a base coat, so we're just going over the top of all of those and picking up the edges. You could also use this colour for the teeth, if you're wanting to have sort of whitey, creamy coloured teeth on your miniatures. And as you can see here, I'm using the same colour, this sort of bone white, on the carapace as well, just lightly kind of dry brushing over the edges. For the joints on the miniature, I go for Crimson Red from System 3. It's just a draft paint. I have been asked in the past, why do you use Tamiya flesh for your flesh, and why do you use different colours? This one, it's purely because it's what I have to hand. Yeah, no specific reasons, it does the job. I have it, so I use it. If you've got suggestions for better colours, let me know. But at the moment, yeah, it's just because it's what I've got, so I can't really see any point in buying another paint whilst I've still got this one left over. Call me tight, or call me frugal, or just, yeah, call me whatever you want, I don't really mind. Yes, quite surprising when you actually get into it. There are a lot of sort of, I don't know what you call them, but the joints, the sort of fleshy areas within the miniatures to actually pick out, especially on the amount of joints. You can kind of see all the different angles for where elbows and knees and things are on these miniatures and around the ankles. So there are quite a few small areas to pick out. Again, painting them up as rank and file. Theoretically, you don't need to go into as much detail. You could just use the wash and leave those as darkened recesses. Yeah, really the options are entirely up to you and how much effort you want to put in at this stage. So the wash is the homemade wash. It's about 2 to 1 dark brown and black, and they are craft paints, system free black and brown. And then I sort of mix them with water and flow improver. And just very liberally splash it all over the miniature. Once that's dried, we then go back in to do the highlights. So we've got model color, German camouflage green for the green areas. And again, we're not really flogging it to death here, just go along the raised areas and just highlight those. As I said before, this isn't a command figure, these are just rank and file, they'll all blend in with each other. So I keep my brush slightly damp, and then that way I can kind of move the paint around. I'm not doing extreme like hard edged highlights here. I'm just highlighting the top, so I use a slightly damp brush, and that way I can move the paint around on the miniature quite nicely. And then we're using game color leather brown to do the same on the carcass and the brown areas. So again with these ones, pick out the sharp edge first, and then I damp the brush down to do all of the edges in that sort of feathering effect. It just takes time, and it comes together quite quickly. Yeah, these miniatures, they don't take too long. They are good quality sculpts. And, yep, I mean, again, they are about 10 years old, I would say. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, they still seem to be holding up to time very nicely. So I am looking forward to having the whole army painted up, and then I can get some good games in with them. And something I would like to do is get some of the, or some more of the sort of 90s original miniatures mixed in amongst the army, just so I can have that real sort of diversity of miniatures, not just all the modern ones. You can have the older ones too, and have it all mixed together, but with a unified paint scheme. I think will look pretty cool. But yeah, happy with the way these guys turned out. Hive Fleet Gorgon, ready for battle. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. Hopefully it's given you some ideas, and yeah, please leave any comments you have below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks guys.